BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top trade. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. So this is going to be a bit of a painful video for those who are exposed to the market. That's fine. Luckily for me, and for again, I would imagine the majority of the patrons and people on the Telegram, or just general subscribers to this channel, you know, we're not in any pain. In fact, we're quite excited about this because if you go back in time, I was talking about an alt season beginning around October. That's where I positioned myself in some altcoins, and one by one they were popping off. And look what happened since October, all the way up until April, really. So big, massive moves up. I started to exit my positions around December, and then we were playing the buy the dip, sell the rip, buy the dip, sell the rip, and making sure that we weren't overexposed at any time. And then the market peaked around March. And again, by March, I was in an 80, maybe even 90% cash position at this point, waiting for a consolidation to happen. So we started to see that. This is the total two, obviously, by the way, the total two. All altcoins, every single altcoin compared. And, you know, the max paying at one point was 28%. I think it's quite likely that we're going to see more. We're probably going to see around 44% from the top to the bottom, down to this 200 simple moving average, which is also good as well. That's fine, because there's a golden cross here that wants to be retested, and that's probably what we're going to see. There's going to be bounces a long way, so don't worry about that. But I think that's where we're heading between now and the end of summer. So we take ourselves over to Ethereum's chart on the weekly as well. We're sitting on the 20 weekly, the 21 exponential on the weekly as well, and we don't look good. We don't look good. Bitcoin doesn't look good. S&P still pulling back, although I think S&P could actually bounce, and that might actually change the game a little bit. But we'll see. Everything's got to be monitored, you know, bit by bit each day. Now, you are looking at things on a weekly here. There's lots of things that can happen day to day that could change this overall picture. But for the moment, we're talking about altcoins specifically. Ethereum is not in a good place, and if Ethereum loses this area, the next major support is all the way down at 2,500, and probably we're going to see much lower than that, getting down towards 2,000. So that's going to be a fair old drop for Ethereum. It's going to be a fair old drop for a lot of our altcoins. Last night on the Patreon, we were looking at these altcoins, really, a lot of them, and I was saying, look, despite only a handful of them, not less than that, looking okay, strange ones as well, like Ethereum Classic, a couple of others, I can't remember the exact ones, but there's a few that presented okay, but the market as a whole did not look particularly happy, and if we do lose this area on Ethereum, then the measured moves generally that we were looking at on altcoins from last night's price action was another 20 to 40% pullback, and that looks plausible based on what we're looking at here with Ethereum. Again, this is a bullish chart. I just want to put that to you. This is still bullish, and it will maintain its bullish position all the way down to, well, I mean, this is lagging, but we'll call it 2,000, really. It'll be bullish all the way above 2,000, and it'll be worthy of a dip by around 2,000. This isn't any different to how Ethereum behaved before. I just want to put this to you. I've still got about, how many have I got? I've been staking them a while now. Staking them for about 4 years, in fact, so but I've got about 40. Ethereum sitting in my in one of my wallets, and yeah, I bought them around $160, and I was happy, and I was sad, and I was happy again, and I was sad, and I was happy, and then I've been happy for a while, obviously now. But just since where I bought it, roughly around here, when it reclaimed these areas on the chart, roughly speaking, you know, I was basically sitting sideways for about a year and a half. Rarely ever, you know, in profit, or if I am in profit, not much. Never feeling particularly safe until obviously it went all the way up, and I'm still happy now. But you know, it was a sideways lagging thing for Ethereum, and then it suddenly became cool and popular, and everybody wanted it, and it's maintained a decent value on it, really. It bottomed out at just below $900, but since then it's been slow and sluggish. I mean, it's done okay. It's done about the same as Bitcoin, hasn't it, really, with its gains? It's not been too dissimilar. In fact, it's almost identical from the bottom to the top of the sort of gains that Bitcoin had. It just doesn't feel like it, but it has. But I would generally look at Ethereum as a major indicator for the markets. And if it loses this area, then we do have significant drops below us before we start to think about picking it up. Same thing with the total too, which is largely driven by Ethereum. So let's have a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, which we did look at this morning, but I just wanted to show it to you again. We've got a golden cross on simple moving averages and exponentials now on the dominance chart. That's never happened before, by the way. This is brand new. I've never seen it before, but it's true. It's happened. The daily is obviously bullish, and the 4 hourly is quite bullish too now as well. So we got ourselves a golden cross, which would want to get retested. We might be seeing that retest at the moment, around 54.7% dominance, and probably a move up from there. This is a breakout trade, really. We've also got a pump signal. So we've got a pump signal with the itchy cloud. We've also got a golden cross on the 4A. So that is awesome. That's exactly what you want to see for a breakout. And if we're going to start to see moves up, it can happen in the form of a market dump or a market pump, and it'll take us to these levels 1 and 2. Now, if we start to get up to this level here, the 63.5% dominance, that is major buy time. It's major buy time, and you will indiscriminately buy altcoins at that level. And I will be buying the lows, and I'll be getting called all kinds of names, just like I did when I bought the lows around here and sold the peaks between here, and here. So there you go. It is what it is. It's no different to what we generally have expected. My advice is, at the moment, there's no reason to try and trade these markets particularly. You know, we've made hundreds of percent. You don't normally get to make hundreds of percent in any markets, but we've made hundreds of percent since October. That should keep us warm in our beds and keep food in the fridge for, well, I mean, for me, for a long time. So I can just sit and chill now and enjoy the summer, which I suggest you all try and do, because we'll monitor this on the way down, and we'll look for signs of reversal on the way down. And when we get those signs of reversal, and then we can start to play the market again, position ourselves in significantly lower than where price is right now. Like I say, I'm expecting between 20 and 40% pullback from the prices right now. So it's quite a lot. And these sort of things will happen. Trust me, they can and they will happen. Everything points to it, I suppose, at this point now. And so when we get to those levels, we will buy. And so we've got like a couple of months, I'd say now, as we enter the summer, getting towards the end of the summer, to choose the altcoins that we want to buy when the time comes. July, August, September. These are the times where we need to start thinking about buying them back, because they will be low and nobody will want them, and people will call you nasty names for buying them. The same people who are buying them up here will be calling you nasty names for buying them down here. It's just the way it goes. And in fact, sometimes I use the comments section as an indicator in itself to work out my particular bias being correct, because you know that the market is counterintuitive, and you know that the majority of people get it wrong. And if the majority of people seem to be commenting dramatically, then it means that yeah, obviously they're feeling it, because I know that they're exposed to the market and they don't want me to say what I'm saying. They think I've got some kind of influence over the market. I'm just a market participant, by the way. I just involve myself in this market. I can't move it. It does what it wants us to do. I just try and stay ahead of it. And the best thing to do is to try and stay ahead of it now by allowing it to come down. Allow it to come down and allow it to find a significant place on this chart, which I reckon is going to be, like I say, between 20 and 40% from where we are right now, before we can start our dollar cost average into the altcoins that we've spent all these months deciding which ones we want between now and the end of summer. And we'll buy them. And we'll ride them up 500, 1,000 or more percent, like we did in October. And we'll do it again. That is the plan. Right, I'll leave it with you there. But thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Play it safe. Take it easy.